Hello and welcome to Thursdays with Annette. I'm doing a recipe today that I've never done on the show before in the 5 years this show's been going, so I'm super excited. We're delving into book 7 here, which is an awesome book. What are we making? Well, we're going to make the fish Mornay Crumble. Oh my gosh, I know when you say the word crumble you think apple. Well no, we're going savoury today, and if you don't like fish, don't worry, I've got variations, so stay tuned. All right, so this recipe is just such a yum recipe, banging with flavour. And so there's a bit of ingredients for this one, but it's important because I want it to have a lot of flavour. So you've got your crumble and then you've got your Mornay. All right, so this here is your crumble. So you need parmesan, you need fluorite margarine, you have oats, the rolled oats, plain flour, panko breadcrumbs, love a good panko, and some skim milk. So before I get into the other ingredients, I'm just going to throw this into the microwave. So you need the margarine melted. So let's do that. There we go. All right, so now it's a cup of panko, half a cup of plain flour, 3 tablespoons or 45 grams of fluorite margarine melted, a quarter of a cup of rolled oats, and 2 tablespoons each of parmesan and skim milk. All right, so that's the crumble. Now for the Mornay, you need mushrooms, capsicum. You want 3/4 cup of capsicum, a cup of sliced mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, do celery instead, sliced celery. We've got some garlic. I've got a leek here in this recipe because, you know, I like to have different things so it's not just the same old, same old. But if you don't have a leek or you don't want to bother, then do a cup of onion instead of a cup of sliced leek. But I love the leek in this. We've got the garlic. Of course, we have the beautiful fish fillets, the boneless fish fillet. And this week I've got bassa, the bassa fillets from Woolies. I find they're really good. They hold better. Some fish like snapper or barramundi are too soft and they'll just crumble. I'm going to use the rice bran cooking spray in my wok. I'm going to cook it in the wok today. You can do it in a large fry pan as well. I've also got in the other ingredients that really bring this dish to, I mean, you think Mornay's boring? No, thank you, not my Mornay. I've got some frozen corn. I've got some Dijon mustard, some fresh parsley chopped. I've got a cup of skim milk, and these two are very important ingredients. We're going to have the cheese sauce sachet as well as a cup of soup, which is the cream of mushroom. All right, so they're important. We need those, a sachet of each one. All right, let's stop chatting and let's get cooking. All right, so I'm going to do the crumble first. Let's get that out of the way. So the panko, the self-raising flour, the rolled oats, 2 tablespoons of parmesan, and my margarine, of course, should be melted now. There we go. So what I want to do is I just want to give this a bit of a mix up to put, like, this is all the dry ingredients. So combine the dry ingredients and then we'll add the wet. So we don't need that anymore. All right, so let's get the marge. Oh, I needed to do it a little bit longer. Let's do another quickly. And then we go from the crumble into the Mornay. So I just think this is good to get this out of the way, yes? All right, that's better. All right, and I mean, you can make this, as I said. Remember I said if you don't like fish, and I just think the fish Mornay is just fabulous. I love it. But if you don't, then what you do is you can replace it with some other proteins, all right? And I'll tell you about that shortly. So I'm putting the milk in with the margarine. Yep. In it goes. And then just combine it. Now I'm going to get my hands dirty with this because crumble, you really do need to get in and mix all that wet with the dry. So get in there and give it a good mix up. It's a crumble, so you want it to be crumbly I mean, I do have the most amazing apple crumble if you are interested, but not for today's show. I just thought, why not make a savoury one? There we go. And it's not hard to do. Look at that. Basically, I've just had to melt the margarine and combine all that together. Fabulous! Boom! Done. All right, let's get rid of this. Wash my little hands and we can start chopping. All right. Okay, this is fabulous. All right, so let's do the veggies first, okay? So what did I do with my big knife? Here it is. I'll just get my big knife because just before the show started, I actually did the parsley because I thought we will have too much chopping to do otherwise. So we want 3/4 of a cup of capsicum, and I like it to be red, you know, just being a little bit pedantic. We're going to dice it. And why I like the red is because you've got the green parsley in there. So I'm all about how a recipe looks to your eyes. And I want to have that colour. So you've got the green parsley going in, you've got the leek, you've got the yellow from the corn, and the fish is the white. So why not have something red? Let's see, 3/4 of a cup. And I said you could replace this with celery. I prefer it with the capsicum because celery is quite a strong vegetable. But if you don't like it, then that's the alternative. We're going to do the mushrooms. Now we just slice the mushrooms. Don't do them too thick because you don't want them too chunky. We want a cup. So we wanted 3/4 cup of the capsicum. And now the mushrooms. Now don't forget, you get to win the book. You could be the winner this week if you're lucky enough to win a copy personally signed by me of book 7. Now the thing is, I will announce it in the show, not in the show actually, on Facebook in the day, on the Thursday next week, who the winners are. So you get to know who is the winner. Hopefully you see your name there. I'll tell you how you win later. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down the leek and slice it in the middle. Years ago, you'd open up a leek and it'd be full of dirt. Who remembers that? But look at this, clean as a whistle. Gotta love it. Now we want a cup. So slice. I do like it with the leek, just with something a little different. But as I said in the beginning, you could replace it, if you really wanted to, with onion. Let's see how we're going. Yep, there's a cup. Fantastic. So I'm just going to turn this board over, which is what I love about the chopping board, because you can use both sides. I might leave that leek to the side because I'm going to use that for something else another day. So I want to turn it over now and I'm going to just do the fish. So we've got our veggies done, our crumbles done. Now we have to do our fish. So I'm going to cut it down the middle and bite-sized pieces. There we go. It's 500 grams. And if you wanted to, okay, you can change it. If you don't want the fish, see, I love fish, and we really need to have it at least a couple of times a week if we can to get our omega-3s and 6s. But you can change it and use chicken. So you would have the chicken breast without the skin. Or you could do it with just the Mornay itself. So either the chicken or the fish without the crumble, okay? You know, sometimes you just want a Mornay and you might have rice with it. So with this one, as is, the whole recipe is a 10.5 grams of fat per serve. If you do it with the chicken, it's 11.7. And if you just do it with the Mornay itself, it's only 2.4 grams of fat. So it's super, super low in fat. All right. Just wash my hands again and we can start cooking. All right. So I'm going to cook off the fish first with the garlic. Using my, rice bran spray, definitely. That's the veggies that'll go in. There's the crumble. We want a teaspoon of garlic. And I'm just going to wait for that pan to start sizzling a bit more. And what I'll do is I'm going to put in the pieces of fish, and we're just going to cook them just off for just to seal the fish and to coat with the garlic. Now you can serve this with salad, or you can have vegetables on the side, or just as it is, up to you. There we go. Going to wash my hands again. Right, let's bring it over. And I am going to just tidy up my mess a little bit. Get this out of the way. And bring over all the other ingredients. Here we go. All right, and this is the dish I'm going to use to put it in. Now I've preheated my oven. I forgot to tell you that. So it's 180 degrees fan force ovens, because it's going to cook for about 30-35 minutes, or until your crumble's a bit golden brown. There we go. Oh, flicking the fish everywhere. So you just want to seal that fish off with the garlic. And I've made this, for the family, and I think people forget that crumble could be savoury, and they all just go, wow, is this like crumble, And I think people just get that excited about something a bit different, because I don't know, I love chops and veggies and that, but we want something different. And this is, in the colder months, we do want heartier cooked meals. There we go. Right, so let's put the veggies in. So you've got the leek, the mushrooms, and the capsicum. And just when you're stirring it, just be a little bit gentle, because we don't want to break up the fish. And I think I put the corn in too. Yeah, it's frozen corn. You could do fresh if you wanted, and just slice the corn off the cob. It's beautiful. I love fresh corn. But I'm all about easy peasy. Thank you very much. I want this to be just an easy meal for the family. And remember, it does cook in the oven as well, so you don't have to worry too much about how long you cook everything for, because it will finish cooking in the oven. There we go. Right, so while that's cooking, I'm actually going to combine the milk now with the cream of mushroom cuppa. Now, if you don't like your mushrooms, then what you could do is use cream of chicken if you wanted, even though it's fish. You could do that if you really hate mushrooms. I'm going to put that in with the cup of milk plus the corn flour. Let me just get that all in and whisk it together. So that was 2 teaspoons of corn flour as well. So I'm mixing that up. Let's toss. Oh, that's looking great. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this in. Get my little scraper. I like all of that in there. And this will give it a lovely flavour and also thicken it slightly as well. I love Mornays. I've got lots of different Mornays in my books. I've got a beautiful tuna Mornay. Have a look through, because some of my chicken dishes, like chicken a la queen and things like, they're like a bit of a Mornay sort of thing. All right, so I'm going to boil my kettle. I did do it before we started to make sure that it was hot. And what we'll do is, this is done. I'm going to then use a glass cup because I find that it's better when you're heating. And if you look on the back, it will tell you heat a cup of milk, but I'm using water. It doesn't need that, okay? So put the water in. Oh, let me just stir. This has so much beautiful flavour to it. There we go. So I want 200 mils. It's not a cup of water, it's 200 mils. So let me turn it around. 200 mils, remember that. There we go. And then, where's my whisk? In goes the cheese sauce. Remember, it's this one. I mean, it's not hard to do, it's just you've got to have the ingredients, that's all. In it goes. Where's my scraper? Oh, here. It's because you want that cheesy flavour, but I'm doing it low fat, remember? I'll just turn this down a bit. Mix that in. Oh, yum. And then the last thing we've got to do is add in 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh parsley from my garden. Yes, thank you. I chopped it up ahead because I thought you know how parsley looks. And I want a tablespoon. Where's a tablespoon? Let me just grab one out. And we want 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Very important because it really kicks the flavours up. And just fold that in. Yum. Now this is enough for 4, okay, so there's 4 of you. It freezes for about 2 or 3 weeks if you had, serves left over. But I don't know about you, if I had any left over, I think I'd be having it for lunch the next day. All right. Here we go. I'm such a messy cook, aren't I? Oh well. All right, so I might just move this here, get rid of this, the cooktop. All right. Here's my casserole dish. My oven's all ready. And look at this. I'm just trying to do it so you can see it. Oh, yes, people. Oh, my gosh, how yum on a cold winter night. Would your family feel happy about this? Yes. And remember, you can do it with a chicken Mornay crumble. And now the magic happens. We put the crumble on the top. So make sure it's crumbly. And just spread it over the top. Oh, yes, please. In my belly. I love it. And it's just a little bit different, isn't it? And even though, like, my husband, Billy, is not a huge fan of tuna Mornay, he inhales this. Oh, yes, he does. He eats the Mornay when I make it, but I don't make it a lot because he's not a big fan. But if he's away or anything like that, that's what I make. All right, in the oven, 30 to 35 minutes. I'm going to do mine on 30. Here we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up all my mess here. We're going to come back in 30 minutes and see the finished beautiful Mornay crumble for you then. All right, be back soon. Oh, that sound, I love it. It means the fish Mornay crumble is ready. My oven's beeping. I did 30 minutes and I think it's perfect. So let's get it out. Okay. Oh, look at it bubbling away there. Yum! All right, so now I would normally just leave that to settle for a few minutes before I serve it, but I know you want to see what it looks like, don't you? So I'm going to go in and serve some up. So this is enough for 4. So you would cut that there and cut that there. So it's a good serve, isn't it? So let's Try not to mix the crumble up too much with the rest of the sauce because you really want to have that at the top, don't you? There we go. Oh my gosh, look at this. And I've just filled my whole plate with this fantastic fish Mornay. Maybe I need a bigger plate so I can have some salad on the side. But there it is. Boom, my gorgeous fish Mornay Crumble. Yum! Now, if you want to win book 7, because that's where the recipe's out of, you just got to like, share, and then in the comments, you know what you got to do. Hashtag Symply with a Y, too good. So write that into the comments, like and share, and then I'll pick 3 fantastic winners for the week, and you get a person-signed copy of book 7. Now, on next week's show, I'm going into the new book, More Cooking for 102, and I've tried to make a low-fat recipe of this in other books, but couldn't do it, but I did for this one, and I'm going to make beef korma. Yum! It's such a great recipe, and it's a really good low-fat version for you. Super easy to make. Beef korma happening here next week. So if you want more tips or recipes, you know where you're going to go. simplytoogood.com.au. I mean, look at this. Fish Mornay. Yum! Who knew? Weight loss could be so deliciously healthy. Thank you. Simply Too Good to Be True, number 7. All right, I'll look forward to your company next week. See you next Thursday. Bye now.